Trump Talks movies, Robin Hood Men in Tights. Welcome back, boys and girls. It's your good time, President the Trumpster, here to review Robin Hood Men in Tights. This Robin Hood guy, he's a bad guy, already in prison in Jerusalem when the movie starts. So, you know, he's heady Muslim. He meets the Shaft-themed song guy, and they escape from prison. Shaft guy asks Robin to babysit his son when he gets back to England. Robin swims back to England. I would have done it much quicker. He meets up with Shaft guy's son, who turns out to be the first African-American. They head to Robin's castle, which is being taken away because Robin's family is dead, except for a blind manservant. So now Robin is stuck with two Force DI hires. The three losers then attack the sheriff of Rottingham and his men just because they want to execute a child for breaking the law. Very unfair, very sad. The sheriff rides away victoriously, and he's so good at riding, he can ride upside down. The kid runs away when he realizes he's been left with a trio of liberal losers. Next, we're at a castle, a big castle. Mine will be bigger. There's a lady in a tub singing about finding a husband. She's very attractive. Maybe she could be my next wife when Melania divorces me. A fat German woman comes in and starts to boss her around. She gets out of the tub, and you think you're going to see her naked, but she's wearing the metal underwear. Melania has the same ones. The sheriff of Rottingham gets to the castle to warn Prince John about Robin Hood. You know, it's a lot like me and Elon, but I'd be King Don and Elon. Made I be King Don and Elon makes even less sense when he talks. The prince tells the sheriff to make the bad news sound like good news, but he does a terrible job. I make my underlings do the same thing. That's how I know what a great president I am. Prince John goes to see an ugly old woman. I think it's his mother, named Latrine, which is a pretty name for such an ugly woman. I don't know what it means, but it's a pretty name. She promises to help John with Robin Hood as long as he helps her get the sheriff in the sack. We go back to Robin Hood and his two friends, Blinken and Ashu, which sounds like a sneeze. And they're at a bridge, a small bridge. I could jump over it easily. There's a big guy, not as big as me, named Little John, and a little guy named Will. Robin fights Little John and beats him. It would have been much easier for me, and they all make friends and become a gang. I would have had them deported. Robin decides to invade the castle by himself. Back at the castle, there's a big party, lots of the right kind of people. Robin barges in and throws some kind of dead animal on the table. I think it's a sheep. Robin makes some very unfair and rude comments about Prince John, and the sheriff bravely challenges him to a duel. The coward Robin Hood, he sucker punches the sheriff, who wisely retreats and lets the Secret Service take care of business. Robin hides under a table and tries to take Maid Marian hostage, but she pretends to be attracted to him, so he leaves her alone. Suddenly, at least 100 of Robin's gang burst into the room, but they're easily defeated by the guards and run away like big losers. At Robin's hideout in the forest, Robin is trying to inspire his gang, but he's bad at it, so he gets the sneeze guy asks you to do it. I gotta say, even though sneeze guy is on the wrong side, he's actually pretty good. He should get a job talking to people. The next morning, Robin's gang get their gang uniforms, which include tights for some reason. They're wearing the tights, but they're not pretending to be women. So I think it's okay. They have a training montage, and everyone is terrible. Back at the castle, Prince John is the one in the tub this time. I hope he doesn't stand up. The sheriff comes in with urgent news, and Prince John is clearly farting in the tub, but won't admit it. I'm proud of my farts. I always say, if you can't command a room with your words, do it with your farts. Drop a stinker and everybody shuts up. The sheriff tells the prince that Robin Hood has been doing very bad things, like stealing from poor rich people and giving it to greedy poor people. Prince John orders the sheriff to do whatever it takes to stop Robin Hood and his gang of commie terrorists. Out in the forest again, and there's a guy in a cart. I think he's Jewish. I think his donkey is drunk too. It's staggering around like JD does when I slap him for being too cocky. Robin and his gang appear and try to steal wine from the Jewish guy until he threatens to cut off their penises, but he agrees to share the wine anyway. The Jewish guy, who turns out to be a rabbi, tells Robin about Maid Marian being hot for him, which is obviously a trap because Why would she be attracted to such a loser? Meanwhile, at the castle, the sheriff is talking to some European people, I think they're Swedish, about assassinating Robin Hood during an archery contest, which is a wonderful idea. Maid Marian is listening in, and she thinks to herself, this is a great plan, but I could make it better, and she decides to tell Robin about the contest to lure him to it. She jumps off the balcony onto a horse. If she was a guy, she would have lost the loose change out of her pants pocket, if you know what I mean. The fat German lady tries it, and the horse says no, and she hits the ground, and it cracks. She should be in better shape like me. At Robin's hideout, we see they're using the blind guy as a lookout because of DI. The gang are still wearing their tights, and they sing a song about how tough they are while wearing the tights. I could take them all in a fight, one-on-one or all at the same time, and I could sing better if I wanted to. Maid Marian arrives, and Robin sings to her. It looks like he has a massive erection, but it was just his sword. He probably can't even get an erection like a loser. Marian tells Robin about the archery contest and uses reverse psychology to get him to go by making him promise not to, which he does. It's obvious he's lying, though. The next day is the contest, and everybody is there except for Robin Hood and his gang. The contest begins, and everybody loses except for one of the Swedish guys and some old guy. The old guy gets to shoot first, and he's actually really good. The sheriff, he's a real smart guy, realizes that the old guy is Robin Hood. Robin takes off the old guy's face and is himself underneath. So now we can add stealing old people's faces to his list of crimes. The Swedish guy takes a shot and destroys Robin's shot easily, and the crowd rightfully turns on Robin. The other Swedish guy is up in a tower getting his gun ready to shoot Robin. A group of ladies, some of them very unattractive, push past the guards and surround Robin to protect him from the crowd. Robin cheats and says his first shot was only a practice shot so he can have another one. The Swedish guy in the tower takes his shot at Robin, but one of the ugly ladies catches the arrow. Robin cheats a second time and uses a guided arrow to make his shot and almost kills everyone. One of the ladies attacks Swedish guy for no reason. Everybody claims that Robin won the contest even though it was clearly rigged and Swedish guy really won. The sheriff has Robin arrested for cheating, which is only fair, and says he's gonna hang him. Maid Marian asks the sheriff to marry her instead of killing Robin, probably because the after party would be more fun. And the sheriff agrees. The ugly ladies start getting undressed and turn out to be ugly men and members of Robin's gang. Very misleading. I'm glad I wasn't attracted to any of them. They decide to get the rest of the gang to rescue Robin. It's wedding time. I love weddings, especially this one. I'm glad the sheriff finally found someone. Robin is there with a noose around his neck in case they change their mind about hanging him. Robin is still wearing the tights instead of a suit like all the other fancy people. Very disrespectful. The wedding starts and we find out the sheriff's name is Mervyn. Everybody starts laughing, probably because they're jealous of how masculine his name is. The wedding is interrupted when the sneeze guy, a shoe frees Robin, and Robin's gang storms the castle. Maid Marian switches sides and refuses to marry the sheriff. The sheriff and Marian go up the tower to work out a new deal while the guards deal with Robin and his gang. Robin escapes the fight somehow, probably by hiding like a coward, and follows them up the tower. When he gets there, the sheriff is trying to get Marian's metal underwear off, probably because she needs to pee. But the underwear is locked and no one can find the key. Robin and the sheriff fight, and the sheriff is a better swordsman. During the fight, a key Robin has around his neck comes loose and lands in the lock on Marian's underwear. Robin tries a smooth line on Marian, but it obviously doesn't work. Robin has had the key for most of the movie. I didn't mention it before because the guy writing the script for this video forgot to write it until now. They start fighting again, and the sheriff has the upper hand until Dirty Sneak Robin sucker punches him again. A left hook from the lefty liberal. Robin then tricks the sheriff into impaling himself with Robin's sword by pretending to be an easy target. Latrine comes in and tells him she'll save his life if he agrees to marry her. He has to think about it because he doesn't want to marry such an ugly woman, but he also doesn't want to be killed by such a loser, so he agrees. She gives him drugs and drags him away. Robin and Marion are about to undo the metal underwear when the fat German woman runs in and screams at them. They have to get married before Marion is allowed to pee. They head down to the rabbi's tent to get married, but he's busy cutting off a guy's penis. When he's done, he agrees to marry them, but before he can summon objects, it turns out to be King Richard. He demotes Prince John and has him arrested. If I was there, I would have said, "Dick, I am the king now, you're fired," and then I would have deported him back to the Middle East. The king makes Robin Hood a knight and kisses Marion, who looks like she'd rather be kissing anyone else. Robin makes Sneeze Guy eschew the new sheriff of Rottingham, and Robin and Marion get married. Loser, cheater, bad guys win, just like in 2020 as usual with woke Hollywood garbage. I like Prince John and the sheriff, who were very good people, but the rest of the characters were a bunch of lefty liberal losers who should be in jail. I give this movie 2 out of 5 puckered mouth and nooses.